Hey, everybody, you're listening to the AdSkills Pro podcast, where we share case studies from real life campaigns that are run by our top ad buyers. And of course, as you know, the best part is at the end of each show, you will have the opportunity to hire our pros. So my name is Kate Buck. I'm the host. And today I'm sitting down with Milton Brown, a top ad buyer here at AdSkills Pro, to share with you his best case studies. Welcome, Milton.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, and what inspired you to get going in become a media buyer.
Okay, great. I have a extremely long story, but I'll cut it down to a bite-sized chunk for you. And also want to thank you. It's my birthday, so this is a great present to be on this episode on my birthday. So I'm like over the moon right now. But
Oh my gosh, congratulations. Happy birthday. How
thank you.
exciting.
Thank you. So how I got started, the internet has always been a special place for me. Growing up, I even had a computer in my room when I was around 5 years old. And I'm talking about, this is way back when the discs were as big as you, before even the floppy disk. And then I discovered around probably around 14, 15, that you could actually make money from the internet. And that piqued my curiosity, because I was like, I love this. If I can make money from this, that will be an ideal situation for me. So I started buying books. I bought Yannick Silver's Moonlighting the Internet. Saved up little money I had to buy that book. Couldn't really implement some of the things he mentioned, but I took the knowledge and I began learning. And as I grew, I began learning how to build websites. In my college dorm room, I was creating websites, putting Google AdSense on them. I was playing fast and loose. I got banned by Google AdSense, but I took it as a learning experience. So I continue to grow, and as I increase capital and the money, because I actually created my own major at NC State, adolescent development, and I went into teaching. But while I was teaching, I was still investing in education, because the more you know, the better you can be to sharpen your skill set. And I always knew that digital marketing is going to be for me. So I just kept sharpening the skills, learning more, getting side projects, all while still being a teacher. Actually, this is my last year teaching.
So many things to congratulate you on today. That's awesome.
Thank you. I was juggling my digital marketing and my teaching, because I can. Because children hold a special place in my heart. We also have a nonprofit. We helped over 700 children receive free after school care and tutorial services and summer camp. Because of the pandemic, we're going to have to cut back on the summer camp. We were expecting 150 kids this year, but we might have to cut it back to 50. And cut our field trips. We were taking the children places that a lot of them never left the city before in their whole life. So we'll take them to places like the safari, and they could see zebras. They could have ostriches come up to the cart and feed them, and expose them to different things in their life. Because my two passions are digital marketing and our youth. But fast forward, I learned SEO, I learned Facebook ads, I learned all of this. And then I started hearing about Justin Brooke. And I started doing some research and seeing some of the things he did. I'm like, wow, I need to learn from this guy. Because if you learn from the best, you can avoid all the pitfalls along the way. So I went and started following him, and I put the notification on, so anything he posts, I'll see it first. And then I ponied up the money and invested in AdSkills. And it took my media buying to a whole nother level. And so I was doing that for about a year. And then one of his team members, Matt, contacted me. He's a wonderful guy, by the way. And he talked to me about the Media Masters program. So I was on the fence for that because I mean it is quite a bit of an investment. But the more he talked, the more I looked into it, and the more I already knew about the reputation and background. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, and went and got that program and became certified. And once I became certified, that took me to a whole nother level because not only do I have that information, I have access to the pro league. So now I can listen to ideas, pitch ideas, and pretty much have an environment where everyone is helping each other succeed. And there are some heavy hitters in the pro league. So I was comparing myself to them, not thinking I'm doing too well. But because those are some all-stars in there. But I just kept with it, and I actually reached out to Justin and told him what I was doing. Back in December, I was managing about 16K monthly spend. And he said, "Oh, you're doing great," and gave me some information. And I was like, okay, that gave me the confidence boost that I needed. And now, fast forward to now, last month, I managed a little over 88,000 in spend, and this month I'm on track to be to managing about 100K in spend, ad spend.
That's awesome. We're going to title this the Congratulations podcast. I'm not sure what they're actually going to title it, but wow, that is amazing. So you've been doing the full-time teaching, plus you have the nonprofit, and then am I understanding you right that you're managing ad spend for clients on the side, or are these your own projects that you're doing the media buying for?
For clients. I have a digital marketing agency, and what happens is, because of the work I've done for other people and other agencies, they've reached out to me. So I really haven't had to go and chase for a client. The word of mouth has been coming. So I know once I actually run my own ads, it's going to grow even more.
That's awesome. Tell me about, I do want to mention, I thought it was awesome hearing your getting started story. It is your birthday, and you were kind of dating yourself by saying the book that you had purchased and how long you've been studying this stuff. But then of course you mentioned that you were in college at the time. So that means I can start to guess how old. Oh my gosh, you were learning this in high school. How awesome is that? So we would call you almost pretty close to digital native. In other words, you've grown up with technology and the phone and internet in your hands.
Yes, I'm very familiar with. I love Mark Prinsky. I believe he's the one who coined the term digital native. I've studied after him, and yeah, it's true. The brain actually develops differently because of this technology, and I can see it in my daughter as well. She can take my iPad, phone, or whatever, and it's like she was born with it in her hand, and she's only 6. I'm like,
wow. That's amazing. So tell me about some of these clients that you've been working with. What types of clients have found their way to you via this word of mouth?
I've had the opportunity. Right now, one of my biggest clients is a university. Because I'm working with other agencies, I can't say the names, but I've worked with universities, currently working with universities, funeral homes, multiple funeral homes. I've worked with nonprofits. I've worked with the school. And I've provided some in-kind service for the school that I'm in, and actually helped them rank in Google.
That's awesome.
And they actually made me shut down the ad campaigns because we were filled to capacity. It's a private school.
That's actually not, it's like, that's a good problem to have, right? I love how philanthropic you are with your skills, that you're using them for profit and for good in the world as well. That's really inspiring.
Thank you. But those are, and I really appreciate that. And those are the main clients I work with. I've also worked with plumbers in the past. I've done some work for local barbershops and local businesses, but mostly my work has been in education.
That's what I was going to say. I'm leaving with some education, nonprofit, local business, and particularly in local business, you have worked with some funeral homes. So that sounds like an interesting niche to be in.
That was an interesting niche. When they first came to us, And they asked me, did I want this project? Um, I was a little hesitant at first. I'm like, it's a funeral home. Do I have to be morbid? And I'm very big on mindset and filling your mind with things that are positive. And I'm like, am I going to have to research depression and all this? But it actually, I found a way where instead of focusing on that, we focus on the healing process. And we've actually been able to increase their conversions pretty much month over month. And we're taking out competition in the area.
Mm.
We're getting
Well,
real data.
let's talk about some of the bragworthy campaigns, and maybe this is one of them. Like, I'd love to kind of hear like a bit of a before and after. So before this, when when we started working them, here was kind of like state of the union for what they were doing, and then maybe some of the strategies that you use to optimize or implement media for them, and then what those results have been. Do you have a couple campaigns that you'd like to?
Yeah. So I will give you two examples. One is for a past client that we had. It was a magazine company in the educational niche. And we were able to get them just under 1,000 leads, all from the US, with less than a $20 ad spend. Tier 1 traffic. So
Whoa. Okay. What would you say? Can you share what maybe the you think the magic was that happened there?
it goes back to one of the very, very beginning things that they teach you in AdSkill is creating that avatar and knowing their heaven and hell. So we knew that because they were based in school and it's mostly geared towards present parents, we needed to focus on the things that they're interested in order to get them to give us that email. So we went in, and one of the biggest things is the unsung heroes, the teachers. And two, they want to brag about their student, they want to brag about their school. You see all the honor roll bumper stickers. I have a daughter, I know the feeling. So we said, let's combine those two together. And we designed a campaign around the teachers. And we actually got Chick-fil-A to come on board to support what we were doing. So now we had a big backer that everyone knows was able to leverage that brand. And then just to add spice to it, we made it a competition versus a couple of other schools. And that went on like gangbusters. So we promoted, let's take care of our educators, but also let's show them that your educators are better than their educators, even though we're
Mm-hmm.
on the same team. And
Mm-hmm.
then we took idea that AppSumo uses quite often with some of their competitions. With once they're in, here's how you can get extra bonus points. They're actually
Yeah.
running one now, or just ran one. So we added that element with there. We had tools that if they shared here or shared there or got
Mm-hmm.
someone else to sign up in the school, they could get
Mm-hmm.
extra points for the school.
Yep.
And
I
we
love that
only,
Sumo app. Yep, the
yes.
contest one.
So we only ran it for about 2.5 to 3 weeks. No, not even 2.5, about 2 to 2.5 weeks, $20 spend. And it was 987, somewhere around there. I was happy, but I wasn't happy because I was like, if I could break 1,000 with less than $20.
So you're just right there at
Yes.
just under 1,000. That's so cool, though. That's an amazing result. I bet that client was elated.
Oh yeah, they definitely were. They were extremely happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll shake it up and go from education to funeral home. So with
Okay.
the for funeral home campaign, when I remember even on the trainings Justin was doing, it's like a lot of them aren't as put together as you think when you're going in and competing against others. So we had a chance to look into their campaign, and it was a big mess. Like the conversions, what they were tracking as the conversions were all off. Some of the conversions weren't working. Some of the ad groups weren't put together. Some of the URLs were off. We were going to the wrong thing. So we had to pretty much do an overhaul. And once we began that overhaul and cleaning it up, a lot of it streamlined is through the templates and the information I learned in AdSkills of how to properly set up the back end of Google Ads. And once we had it set up and we had our keyword research and everything, we actually took over the market for the most part for in that now the first beginning when we were teaching the system, it was a little shaky, but once we had it dialed in, pretty much anytime someone in that area was looking for a funeral home, they were calling this particular one. And we did so well that they actually sold off quite a few because it was a franchise, not a franchise group, but it was a controlling group that had multiple funeral homes across the United States. And they sold off about half of them because they were so profitable that they could continue moving. And now I'm down to less accounts for them, but it's a good thing.
I gotcha. There, you were able to increase the profitability that the company was able to position itself for sale. Some of the locations.
Because
that's incredible.
I didn't know that was one of their goals. That was one of the things they kind of left out to me. I don't know. Maybe they thought I wouldn't be here for the long haul since they're gonna. I was like, no, we're working together as a team. You don't need to hide these things. But I was very happy that we were able, without even knowing that piece of knowledge, that we were able to rise up to the occasion. And those are my two big ones. Besides the university, but there's some things in that one. It's universities a different ballpark, so I can't really say too much about those campaigns. But
well, those are those are longer sales cycles, so there's like more components. I mean, the traffic is a lot of brand awareness, right?
Yes.
Or am I incorrect about that? Okay.
Oh no, brand awareness
so you really
is
have to
a
track that
huge part.
Okay.
And
you're convincing, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you're convincing on both sides. You've got brand awareness with the kid, and then you've also kind of got to do this other brand awareness with the parent, right?
Exactly. And we have to do the retargeting, the whole 9 yards. And this one where I primarily do Google search ads. That's pretty much my specialty. But we've put in display ads and this, that, there. We're actually looking into implementing YouTube ads as well, which I'm extremely excited about. So I'm about to go right back into AdSkills and brush up on that. So hopefully I can give you an update and have another story for you.
That would be so much fun. So, I did also hear you say just now that Google Search Network is kind of, you said like where your specialty, so to speak, but you do work on Google Display, looking at YouTube as well. Do you just play in the Google family, or do you do social, Facebook, Instagram, or any of the other networks?
I do all of them. Actually, I'm helping run a campaign for LinkedIn. I've done Facebook, all the Googles, the Google Display, Google Search, YouTube. But my pocket right now is Google Search. And I've actually, one of the biggest things getting started with client work was video. I started out editing video and then learning the video SEO behind it. And that's what got me into client work. So I'm super excited about the YouTube campaign.
That's awesome. Well, I can't wait till you do get to follow up, and we can have another, we'll record another episode when you get there. So tell people that are listening how they can reach out if they are interested in working with you on some of their campaigns.
Great. So I have the domain workwithmilton.com. If they go to workwithmilton.com, it will take them somewhere where they can contact me. It may be different when you hear this because I'm still playing with different landing pages, but no matter when you access it, it will take you somewhere where you can contact me.
I love that. Make it super simple. We don't have to spell it. It's workwithmilton.com, and you can contact Milton. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll put that link in the description. If you're listening to the podcast, that'll be in the show notes for this episode. So I just want to take a moment and say thank you so much, Milton, for being here. Again, all the kudos for quitting your job and going full-time media buyer this year, for your success and your ad spends going up. So many, and happy birthday as well. So many cool things to celebrate on this episode. Thanks for being here.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I love it. This was fun. I smiled so much during this. You have such a great, positive, upbeat energy to you. So thank you. And to everyone that's listening, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast or subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, so that you can get more episodes from our top media buyers. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode.
If you'd like to learn more about how to use paid traffic and analytics to scale your business, subscribe to the AdSkills channel so you'll be notified every time new content is released. If you'd like to learn more about the topic we just discussed, check out the related video we're posting right now.